Ladies and gentlemen, Marvel Rivals is now officially in trouble. With the new Season 3 that was supposed to eliminate the flyer meta that plagued the previous season, we're still seeing a drop in player counts. And I really dug into this and questioned myself, why? Why is Marvel Rivals a competitive shooter that achieved almost 700,000 concurrent players according to Steam charts? Why has it fallen this far this fast? What's going on, everybody? Just Bill. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know down in the comments section. Don't forget to drop a like. I cover a variety of different content on this channel: Marvel Rivals, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Star Wars, FPS shooters. I'm looking forward to Battlefield 6. And if you do like that type of content, man, consider subscribing. It's really cool that we have this little community here. I'm building up this channel, but I cannot do it without every single one of you. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So there's a variety of different reasons that I dug up and kind of even noticed when I was playing the latest season. I'm only in Platinum right now, but one of the biggest things that has made this game lose players even in the concurrent season according to Steam charts and actually become 16th place on Steam, right? The main reason that I think a lot of people already talked about, I've covered it on a previous video on the channel, is the EOMM, the Engagement Optimized Matchmaking. It's not skill-based matchmaking because they would actually align you with players in your same skill set. But what EOMM does is it'll actually force you to play with bad teammates, make you lose that match, and then, hopefully, the game and developers are hoping that you play the next match to end on a win or to just get more time out of your day. And I even tested this today. I played about 4 hours to climb from Platinum 3 to Platinum 2. And no, I'm not saying I'm a top 500 player. I'm not saying I'm a top player at all. But I think a lot of you that have been watching videos regarding Rivals or even playing the game yourself, you'll see a similar win-loss pattern like I did in my 4 hours of playing. I won 5 matches, I lost 4 matches, and net, I was able to climb from Platinum 3 to Platinum 2, but that required about 4 hours of my time. And I think a lot of you are also turned off from this exact mechanic that has definitely plagued the game. And NetEase has been open about this system where if you play as Spider-Man, they're going to have you fight against a very good Namor on the other team that has historically performed well with that character. And what's interesting is that even in Season 3, the most recent reviews according to Steam are mixed, and there's a lot of people also complaining about the engagement optimized matchmaking that I talked about before. But then I was diving into, like, why is this game feel off? Why is it not as balanced as it was before? And the main thing that I'm noticing as I'm flipping through a bunch of different content that I've been able to dig up, there's an unbalanced set of roles in this game. And there's specifically 21 DPS or duelists, 10 tanks, also known as vanguards, and only 9 support players or characters known as strategists. And honestly, guys, I've been playing competitive, on Rivals for the past couple of months. And one thing I noticed is that there's definitely a meta. So some of these characters in each category are not even that viable in comp, right? Maybe a third of the DPS aren't viable. Maybe, give or take 5 out of the 10 tanks are actually viable, especially in high-end competitive play. And then also on top of that, there's really only 4 solid support players or characters in this game out of the 9. So not only is there an uneven balance of DPS players, right? There's also just this lack of variety once you start playing competitively online. So the other thing is that when you're playing online, regardless if it's quick play, you might be a quick play player, you might be a competitive player, you're starting to notice that more people are selecting DPS out of any other role because there's just simply more DPS characters to choose from. And that's actually causing, tanks that need a new character. the support roles. They got Ultron, but he's more of a DPS strategist healer hybrid. He's not supposed to be a secondary healer in a competitive meta lineup. So it begs the question, is NetEase going to create more roles or create more characters for the roles that we have, like tanks, like strategists? We definitely need more characters in the lineup because, there's just way too many DPS roles or characters in this game. There's more DPS characters than tanks and strategists combined. And not to mention, Blade has also been confirmed as the new character that will be, I believe, releasing in season 3.5, halfway through the season, and he's also a DPS. So there's no end in sight for this season. There's not going to be a new strategist or a new tank to counteract the uneven amount of DPS roles there are. And a lot of the DPS roles counter tanks, like the new character Phoenix. So it's going to be interesting to see how Blade stacks up. Is he going to be, this anti-tank character? Is he going to be more of an assassin? We need to wait and see, but there's definitely an uneven amount of characters in the DPS role. On top of that, something that I, pride myself on was playing as Spider-Man in previous seasons, especially with the symbiote team-up. So this may come off as some form of bias, right? But season 3 is the symbiote season, right? You have Black Suit Spider-Man. You have a bunch of different symbiote cosmetics for Jeff the Shark and Storm and even Squirrel Girl, right? And they did not give Spider-Man his symbiote team-up back because a lot of the support players were complaining that Spider-Man was overpowered. I get it, but they also nerfed Spider-Man this season in terms of his damage. So if you're going to nerf Spider-Man, at least give him something to go off of. There's also a character like Thor that I enjoyed playing prior to Season 3, but he just gets melted between the combinations of Phoenix, Wolverine, and maybe even other DPS characters teaming up against you and just destroying you flat out the gate. He has no shield capabilities. There's definitely just this weird missed opportunity that NetEase had regarding Season 3 to balance some of the characters. And even the new characters that I've mentioned, Phoenix and Blade, and even Emma Frost in the previous season, I noticed that they come out and are released in an overpowered fashion. Emma was just an instant permaban in any competitive match I played prior to Season 3. And in Season 3, Wolverine's constantly getting banned, sometimes even Phoenix. So these new characters or these new team-ups that make certain characters overpowered need to be tweaked a little bit to actually have a balanced game. Because now you're having Wolverine or Phoenix banned instantaneously. Now no one can enjoy the new characters. So there's a variety of different things regarding Season 3. Missing out the symbiote team-up or not giving certain characters a proper symbiote team-up. And then also just the fact that certain characters are just unviable this season, like Spider-Man and like Thor, from a competitive setting. Now, the other crazy part about Season 3 is that, the Fantastic Four movie's coming out in I want to say this week, right? And what's nutty here is that NetEase decided to make certain characters from the Fantastic Four overpowered to some way, shape, or form. And specifically, there's a new team up with Human Torch and the Thing. Human Torch and the Thing, even if you had maybe 3 out of the Fantastic Four characters in a lineup, they had a crazy amount of abilities. But now they're adding the Human Torch and the Thing as a team up to give the Thing more mobility and in fact the fastest temporary mobility in the game, according to, the jet users like Star-Lord, Iron Man, etc. They gave the Thing in Human Torch, where Human Torch picks up the Thing and he flies across the map pretty quickly. That is the fastest mobility, and they're giving that on a character like the Thing, who is very viable online already. So in total, Human Torch, if you actually add up all of the Fantastic Four team-up abilities, the Human Torch has 9 total abilities in the game. And the Thing, who was already good prior to this, with new mobility added with the Human Torch team-up, has 8 total abilities, including all the team-ups. So not only did they nerf certain characters that are just completely unviable, but they also buffed characters that are already good in the game, and this is in line with the Fantastic Four movie. And even if you're a casual player, right, this also concerns you, because if you're casual and you want to actually load up a game online and quick play, well, if you're Spider-Man, you might have to deal with the Thing and Human Torch just lighting you up no matter what you do, and that's a pretty rough situation or scenario to be in if you're just trying to come home from work, come home from school, and play some, a couple of quick play matches with your friends. Not to mention, Human Torch has a kind of a weird tech right now where if you use his basic and then his melee, it makes his hitbox microscopic. So I don't know if that's a bug or a glitch or just a tech that has existed in the game forever and now we're just starting to realize it. But Human Torch is definitely an S tier character if you know how to use him. And combine that with the Thing, who's a great frontline tank, you're not going to be in a good place, right? Like, it's not going to be enjoyable for you if you have the opposing team with those type of characters and they know what they're doing, right? The last thing I wanted to kind of hit home on is the lack of maps. And this is kind of like a nitpicky thing, I guess, but at the same time, I don't know why they've removed certain maps from the game and then added new ones for quick play and competitive. In my opinion, they should have just kept all of the maps that they've had and then just padded and added more maps to add more variety to competitive play, to quick play. And this is like my first hero shooter, so I don't know if this is done, just universally for competitive matches. But the maps that they had prior had some good ones, and I don't like some of the new maps, if I'm being completely honest, but maybe that's an opinion piece. I just think, simply put, if you keep all of the maps in the game, you're going to have more variety and a more enjoyable time. Maybe you don't want to play on Spider Islands in 3 back-to-back-to-back competitive matches. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Season 3, I was really hyped for. I am a sucker for the Black Suit Spider-Man. I got the regular Battle Pass. I'm enjoying the look of it, but I can't enjoy all of the unbalanced style of play that has occurred. And these are decisions that NetEase made. And prior to that, when they were announcing some of the team-ups and some of the other ones that were taken away, I was kind of hopeful, but now it just, the print is right there in your face. It's right there. There's nowhere to kind of like avoid or do some wordplay to rationalize what Season 3 is. It's definitely on a downwards trend. And if I missed anything, let me know down in the comment section below. If you guys did enjoy this video and some of the points that I made, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I actually just played Peak with the boys and I thought it was really fun. It's like this indie game that came out like, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's $8 on Steam and I said, hey, let me go for it. And we actually played through the whole game in like a setting of like 3 to 4 hours. It was really enjoyable. And what's sad is I had more fun playing that indie game than I did in my 4 hours of competitive play on Marvel Rivals before uploading this video. I'm your boy Just Bill, and signing off.